Hi guys, my name is Akbar. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are gonna discuss about the basics of Docker, how we install the Docker, how we pull the images, how we run the images, okay, how we connect to the containers. So all these things we're gonna cover. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, simply I'm going to create an instance in AWS EC2, okay, and then we can install Docker on it. Let me go ahead and launch instance. So I just clicked on launch instance. I'll give Docker. So today is Friday, and I'll give name as a UBUNPU. And just a naming convention, okay? So that I'm going to select here Ubuntu image. You see here application and OS images. So I'm going to select image as a Ubuntu. Once that is done, I'll come down. Docker. If I give the same name, that could be easy for me. Docker Friday UBUNP. Okay, I'll go with the PEM key. Let me go ahead and create a key pair. So wherever my key pair is getting download in the downloads folder, in the same folder I have to create. Okay. So let the rest of the things go for a default. I'll click on launch instance. Okay. Let me refresh it. It's gonna show as a pending. Meanwhile, I'll open a git bash. So my PEM key is in downloads folder. So I'm going into the downloads folder. So after going into the downloads folder, what I have to do? Okay, I don't want to give. I don't want to list it. Okay, it's still pending. So once it is up and running fine, then I'll go to connect and respective download folder we are already in, and ssh-i will give this. Okay, I've connected to this. Click on connect ssh-i. This is my PEM key file. Username is Ubuntu, and this is my server. So as my PEM key has been downloaded in downloads folder, I am in a downloads folder only. So I'm executing it so that I can connect to the respective server. Okay. So I'll give just S here. See the server name, the server IP and the Ubuntu is a user ID. Now what I need to do, I need to install Docker, right? I need to install Docker on what? Installation of Docker on AWS Ubuntu. Okay. The first command is sudo apt get update. Sudo apt get update. I will go to here. Before installing any packages, you have to give this. Why this one? Before installing Docker, you should update the package. This is not only for Docker. If you are installing Jenkins, the process remains. And if you're installing any kind of software on the instances like EC2, this update is mandatory. So after that, what you need to do to install Docker on Ubuntu, you can use the following command. What is that? Sudo apt get install docker io-y. So I'll copy this. Once this is complete, yeah, we are good to go. Now we are proceeding with the installation of Docker. So what I have done from the beginning, I've just created a EC2 instance, downloaded the PEM-key file, and gone to that respective directory where my PEM-key file is there. Then I've clicked on EC2 instance, selected. Then I click on connect. After that, I'll get that ssh-i. In the git bash, I've gone to the downloads folder and given ssh-i and the respective user ID and password. User ID at the rate server. So now I've installed with the Docker. Now let's see what I have to do next. Start the Docker service. Sudo systemctl start Docker. So installing Docker is not enough. You have to start the service and then verify the installation. Sudo so verify the installation is like docker --- version. Okay, this is the one. I don't want to go with that image. Okay, see my version what is 27.5.1. Now what I need to do, if I go for Docker images, permission denied, try to connect to Docker daemon. Okay. Let's enable the Docker service. Sudo systemctl enable Docker. Check the Docker version. Okay. Add user to Docker group to run the Docker commands. So who am I? Is Ubuntu. So user add user embody. So who am I means Ubuntu. So we are going to add Ubuntu as part of this. Okay. New group Docker. Now Docker images. Let me see. Okay. Now after adding sudo user embody -a-g Docker, who am I? Who am I means Ubuntu. So for this particular user, we have given the permissions at Docker level. Now we can play around with the Docker commands. So Docker -version. This is one. Okay. Now, if I go for Docker images, nothing. Docker PS, nothing. If you want to check currently how many images are there on the server, you have to use this command. If you really want to see how many containers are up and running, find Docker PS. If you really want to see including the containers which are stopped as well, not only running, this is -e. So nothing is there because as of now, I have not done anything. Now, simply, I have some set of commands in my notepad, so I will follow that. Okay. So Docker pull Nginx. So Nginx is a web server which is running on a port 80. So what I'm going to do to pull the image from where this is gonna pull is docker hub.docker.com. Pull means download. Okay. So Nginx is a web server which is running on 80. Let me run this, which will help me to download the image. See, image is getting downloaded so fast because it is a lightweight. After that, my command is to run the image. If you just say docker pull nginx, you'll get only output for images. See, you see image, but docker ps, you won't see any containers because I have not yet run the image, right? So docker run nginx. See, earlier you didn't get anything. Now, if I give docker ps, I'll get that container ID. Now, this is a running in foreground, not in a background. So let me, if I close this session, it will come out of an image. So what I will do, I'll go back to my AWS console. I'll open another git bash. And want to show you what is the difference between a foreground and background. In foreground, you won't get the dollar prompt. In a background, you'll get a dollar prompt. Let me maximize the size. CD downloads. I hope this is fine for you. Yeah. So now docker ps, because I have run the image, system cannot specify it. Okay. Oh, my bad. We have not connected to the server. Under downloads, we have to connect to the server, right? Now, docker ps. If I give docker ps, what is the image edition? What is the container ID? Okay, if I maximize this, now I give docker ps. Now there will be a whole confusion. See, this is my container ID. This is my image. And this image is belongs to this because it is running, correct? In the background. So as it is running in the foreground, it won't give you the dollar prompt. Okay. If you really wants to see and connect to this container ID, docker exec -it and give this container ID. Okay. Bit command mistake. Bash we have to. Now you are connected to the respective container ID. CD user share nginx. Now you see HTML. Now this is what you have index.html. Now, if you really wants to access this in the browser, what you need to do, you have to give -p, you have to expose it to the port. And if you have to run it in the background, you have to give option called -d. Now what I will do, I'll just come out of this. Now I see Docker images, Docker ps-a, because my image is stopped now. So if you give Docker ps, will it show? No. Why? Because you have stopped it. You have exited. Now, if I really wants to run it continuously in the background with a dollar prompt, then what do I have to do? Docker. Normally, what I have done, what is the command I have given? Docker run nginx, correct? Now, if I have to run it in the background, I have to give option -d. If I have to expose it to the particular port, I have to give -p. This is the container and this is a public port where you can access in the browser, and this is your image. Okay. Now let's go ahead and run this. I'm running the same image, but in the background and exposing it to the port called 8081. So if you really want to verify 8081, you have to give it in the browser. So what is my port number? 8081 I have exposed, right? So what is my IP? So before that, what you need to understand is you have given as a 8081, right? But if you want to access this in the browser 8081, what you need to do? You need to add it to the security group. So you have to enable the inbound rule for 8081. I hope you have been clear so far. We have created a EC2 instance. We have installed the Docker on it. We have checked the images. We have downloaded the images. We have run the images. We have connected to the container. In the container, we have gone to the specific directory. Now what we are doing, we are trying to run the image in the background along with exposing it to the port 8081. Okay. Now inbound rules. What is the port I have been enabled for? 8081. Public port. 8081. Anywhere. Safe. Now, if I have to access this particular port in the browser, then how can I do it? I have to go to the EC2. I've go to the instances. I've gone to the details. Public IP. Okay. So if I go to public IP, what I have to do? I have to open a browser. AT81. See now what you see here. Welcome to Nginx. Correct. If you really want to see whether the same thing is coming up or not, Docker ps -a. Now, which is my updated one, which is currently running. Docker ps means 78. Okay. Docker exec -it and then the container ID. Now I've connected to this respective. And after connecting to the container ID, what do I need to do? I need to go for user share nginx HTML. User share user share cd nginx. Why there is no nginx folder? Okay. Sudo su hyphen user share nginx HTML. Oh, really? Docker ps. Oh, okay. My bad. I have to connect to this running container Docker exec hyphen it container ID bash. So earlier I connected to the previous container, which is a stop. Now I have connected to the active container. Cd user share nginx HTML. See, now here you see index.html, correct? This is the same page. Welcome to Nginx. By default, this is what you're seeing the page here. Okay. If you really want to modify something, okay. So I have some sample Nginx file over here. Okay. This is a Docker demo for YouTube students. Now, this one, what I will do, I'll copy this content. So I'm expecting this output called, this is a Docker demo for YouTube student. Now I'll go back to server. So what I will do, vi index.html escape I, you just need to give shift insert. So whatever the content is there, that's going to come to me on the browser. This is a Docker demo for YouTube students. Let me go back to the home directory. In the home directory, we'll do this changes. Index.html escape I, shift insert. Docker cp index.html view into Ubuntu at the rate. So we are in the server only. It should be not Ubuntu. It is a root, I believe. Let me see the reference command. Okay, Docker copy the container ID. What is my container ID? 78, right? Yeah, this one. At the rate. User share Nginx index.html. Okay, sorry, my bad. Here is not at the rate colon. Which is container currently running? Yeah, 78 only. Then what is the problem here? Docker copy index.html and replace with container ID and then user share nginx string. Mhm. Okay, now it says successfully copied. Okay, no idea why the earlier is not getting copied. Docker cp index.html. Here also same, here also same. User share nginx. Oh, okay. This directory is wrong. So now index.html is copied. Now if I go to the browser, so if I give refresh here, what is my expectations? My expectations should be whatever the content is there in my index.html here in this current directory, cat index.html. This is a Docker demo for YouTube students. So this should be there in the output. See, this is a demo for YouTube students. I hope everything is clear for you. So sorry for giving a wrong path here in the respective container. So if you really want to see Docker images, this is a command. If you want to see which is a container is running, Docker PS. And if I really want to take action, if I have to remove this particular image, then what I have to do? Docker RMI is a command. But you cannot delete images directly. Why I cannot delete? I'll show you why. Until unless you stop and delete the container, you can't take action on image. Let me see if I try to uh, remove the image. What is the problem that you're going to face? Docker RMI image name. Error response from daemon conflict. Unable to remove repository reference in Nginx. Must for container. See, if an image has run, that respective container has been created. So as a part of this, first you have to take action on container. Docker stop. What is the container ID? This one. Docker rm Docker images. Docker ps e6. Okay, one is gone. Docker stop. There is another container ID. Docker rm. This container ID, I also have to take an action. So now Docker images, Docker RMI. Now I can take action on this particular image. Now you see the image has been deleted. Now again, if I give Docker images, what is the output? I can see nothing. Why? Because I've stopped the containers and I've removed the containers and then I've taken action on the respective image. Now we have seen the basic things like how to expose it to the port by using -p option, how to run it in the background. Now, when you copy for a respective index.html, whatever the customized output you want to see, you can see. That also I have shown. Okay. So now let's take some sample image, which is this one. So I'm giving a green color here by default. So as of now, you have seen how to expose it to the port. Okay. What is the port that we have exposed above as an inbound rule in my security group? 8081, right? So 8081 only I'm going to use it here because inbound rule is enabled for 8081. So you have seen what is a hyphen D is gonna do? You run it in background. Hyphen V, hyphen E is to pass environment variables. Hyphen P is to expose it application port to the public port. Okay. Now this is the image. Now what I'm gonna do, I'll copy this. I'll go back to my server and I'll run this. I'm getting this image as the inbound role is enabled for 8081 and we are passing the P arguments or the variables, assign a value to them. Hyphen E app color is equal to green. Now see, this image got created. Now let me go and refresh the same page. So what do you think? What are you gonna expect? So green color is expected here because we are using that for the purpose. Same same IP and same port. Okay. I just changed the purpose. Now, if I really want to change the color, apart from green, I can give as blue. Okay. But when I give as blue, I have to change the port to 8082. Now I'll go back to my AWS console. I have to add 8082 as an inbound rule. 8082 add rule 8082. See, the color got changed. That's how it is. If you really wants to change anything, you need to know what is the arguments that you're passing and what is the port that you're using at the left hand side and is it inbound rule enabled or not. So based on those things, you can take an action. If you really want to build some sample Docker file, mention anything looking for the then what is the commands that you use how to build a Docker file is Docker build hyphen T. Okay. And then the app name, whatever the name that you want to give, and the dot. Okay. For example, I'll open a chat GPT before I take any action. So as it is a lightweight protocol and has a less capacity, Docker images, Docker PS, Docker stop, and my container ID. I have to stop all these things and I have to remove my images. Okay. Again, Docker stop. What is the another container? Is the one. After you stopping the respective, oh, sorry, I've given a typo mistake here. Docker stop. As the capacity is huge, it is taking time. Docker rm, the container ID. You have to give stop rm. Now the respective containers has been removed. Now what I can take action on images. Docker RMI. RMI is a command for removing the images. Okay. Now I'll go to Docker RMI and paste. Now Docker images. Nothing is there. Everything is clear. Docker ps. Docker ps hyphen a. So nothing, no images, no containers, no stopped containers. Okay. Everything is clear. So now the next phase is like how you build a customized image with the help of Docker file. So what is the important thing that you need to understand over here is whatever the inputs that you give in the Docker file. Okay. What is the command to build a Docker file? Docker build -t, the name, and where dot is pointing to libraries. Okay. So I'll take a sample Docker file from ChatGPT here. I'll go to ChatGPT. Sample Docker file to build the custom image for SQL or DB. See, from MySQL environment, set environment variables for a root password. For root password, like this, you have to give everything, and then you're copying to the initdb.sql. Okay, copy SQL scripts into the Docker images, like this. Docker file for PostgreSQL. Sample Docker file for beginners in DevOps. So this is something related to Flask app. You can copy this. Let me go ahead and go to this directory. Vi Docker file escape I, shift insert. So this is going to take a base image from Python. Work directory is going to create, copy the requirement.txt, uh, pip install no cache requirement.txt, exposing it to the port 5000 to outside a container, command to run app. Okay. Docker build -t um, my simple app and then dot. Okay. That's all. Copy failed, file not found in the requirement dot. Okay, requirement dot txt is not there with us. I'm not sure what is there. So VA requirement dot txt. What is there? They are expecting in the requirement dot txt file. Escape I, shift insert flask. Okay. Now I'll run the same command again. Okay. It's looking for a root permissions here. Sudo su hyphen. So what is my home directory? Sudo su hyphen sudo su hyphen Ubuntu. What is the current home directory? Okay, home Ubuntu. Correct. Sudo su hyphen. Now cd home ubu into Ubuntu. So in this directory, I have all my files. Okay. I have my Docker file and I have this file requirement.txt. Now I can run this command to build the image. Docker build -t. Copy failed, the file not found. Copy file not found. Build context or example dot ignore. Appy.py. Current working directory. Where is the Docker file? Okay, appy.py is not there. So I made requirement.txt. Appy.py. What is the requirement here? What is the context? Okay, let me go here. VA appy.py. Escape I, Shift insert. Happy.py. Okay. Mm, escape. Colon. What's saved now? What is my previous command? Let me run this. Okay. Now it got image successfully. Okay. This is how you need to troubleshoot. This is how you need to understand. Okay. You just need to have the Docker file and you need to have the prerequisites of index.html, appy.py. And once all these things is in place, then you can go ahead and run docker build -t and then the my app. Okay. So I hope you have been a very good learning so far. Thank you very much for being part of this session. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time.